My man. So what's going on, guys? Happy Thursday. This week has gone by like literally a rocket. And want to introduce you to somebody really special to me. So I want to introduce you to Ricardo Clark, who has been a rock star behind the scenes here at Unique Designz. He's been helping me for the past couple of weeks now, really revamp some of the programs that I have inside my business. And he's very, very savvy when it comes to giving you like the 30,000 foot view of your business. And he's been helping me kind of just take all of my ideas. A lot of what I do for my clients, he's kind of been doing for me. And I just want to introduce him to you because he really helped me take the Branding on Demand program that I have today and really structured it and made it really simplified and streamlined. And I wanted to give him a huge shout out for that. But two, he had some very interesting questions for me. And instead of just answering it right there on that Skype call that day, I said, why don't we wait? And when we both get our calendars in line, why don't we do a Facebook Live and share with our audience some of the awesome questions that you had? Because I bet if you're asking them, there's a bunch more people that have those same questions. So here we are today, kind of just putting it all out there and talking about some misconceptions about branding. And so, Ricardo, I'm gonna give it off to you because I know you got that list of questions waiting for me. So I'm just gonna throw it over to you, and let's start with question number one.
Sure. Well, thank you for that good introduction. I'll slide you the $100 bill a little later. But no, man, I think it's important that we talk about branding and sort of like the misconceptions of branding, because a lot has changed the last year and this year around branding and sort of the importance of branding. And so I mean, my first question is really, what's the biggest misconception that you see that people have around branding?
The biggest misconception I see is entrepreneurs and business owners out there thinking that they don't need it. Like they don't need it. And I always start with this. I always start to answer this question or start to attack this question with a simple illustration. I show them two websites. One that looks like a third grader made it, and one that looks super polished and professional. And I said, who would you take your credit card out for first? And what do they say? It's always 110%. They go for the polished because they don't trust the one that looks like a third grader built it. And that is exactly why branding is so crucial for your business, because it's how your business is perceived by your audience. So does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you dropped in a word there, and it's trust. And I think a lot of people think that if their product is good or if their service is good or whatever, it's okay. But the thing is that people don't trust you, or they won't trust you if you don't look the part. So I think, yeah, I mean, I think that makes total sense.
Yeah.
So the next question is, it's funny that you're a designer by trade or whatever, right? But I know for a fact that you help a lot of your clients with business and marketing strategy. What's the biggest issue that comes up related to strategy when you're talking to your clients?
So the biggest problem I saw when I was working with clients 4 or 5 years ago was that they did not know what to do with the designs that I was creating for them. And I saw that was a huge disservice by designing pretty graphics, pretty mailers, brochures, marketing collateral, but not giving them the proper strategy to guide them and show them this is how you use this. And
True.
that was one of the biggest things that I saw, the biggest problems that I saw. And I said, how can I fix this? How can I make this right? How can I be more valuable to my clients? And I said, it's providing this strategy up front. If somebody comes to me and says, all right, I need a 10,000 piece direct mailer designed and printed. All right, great. Now, a lot of times designers would just take that project, design it, print it, and ship that client off. But my question is, what is the purpose of doing this mailer? And I let the client answer it. And if I hear some disconnects, I immediately step up to the plate and take it upon myself to say, you know what? Have you considered or have you thought about this? And giving that perspective, right? Giving that professional suggestion goes a long way, because what happens is 9 times out of 10, the client says, you know what? I didn't think of it that way. And God forbid they would have spent a few $1,000s on that mailer and got 1% return.
Which is usually what happens, right?
Yeah. And so that was one of the biggest things that I said, strategy must be part of the branding process. And, designers come a dime a dozen. They do. You can get them anywhere. But how many designers have a deep, deep knowledge of branding, digital marketing, and that emotional connection that you try to create with your branding, with your marketing collateral that gets people to buy? That is far and few.
No, it's true. And I think it's really, you have to look at it all as a whole and as the purpose of, just like you said, it's like, what's the purpose of this? What's the purpose of that? And I know that designers that I've hired in the past, it's the same thing. It's like, I know what, the purpose of a piece is that I'm going to have them create. So I usually tell them what it's for and tell them what I'm doing with it. And so that they can, whether it's tweak something or something like that. But most people don't. And most people, they're not really, thinking on that level to really go as deep as, okay, I'm pushing this out. What exactly is the purpose? What's my goal? Kind of what's the end result that I want? So yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Not to cut you off, Ricardo, but like 90% of some of the projects that I've gotten in the past was from literally the entrepreneur, the business owner going, I had this great idea yesterday and I'm taking action on it and I want to do it without thinking it through. And it's not their fault because they don't have a marketing professional sitting next to them every day, guiding them and kind of saying, whoa, buddy, that sounds like a great idea in your eyes, but have you tested it? Have you even gone out there and see if there's a need for this? Does your market want it? And if without taking those steps, tons of us waste tons of money. Listen, I raise my hand. I've done that hundreds of times where I think of a cool idea and I just put it out there and it falls short because guess what? I didn't do my diligence and I wound up spending a few $100s on a campaign that sucked from the beginning where if I had somebody that said, hey, have you thought of it this way? And you've done this with me. You've private messaged me in the past and like, Henry, have you thought of it this way? And I'm like, Jesus, Mary, like, that's why I love you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I love you. And that is one of the biggest things that I provide for my clients now is that it's that strategy up front to prevent them from spending all that wasted money and time.
Yeah. It's so important, man. It's like, who wants to waste money, right? But hey.
It sucks. It sucks. But 9 times out of 10, it's people coming to me saying, listen, like, I have all these ideas in my head, but I don't know what one should go first. I need that guidance. I need that support. Like, I know what I have is a great product or service, but I don't know how to get started. I'm not a designer. I'm not a marketing expert. Like, how can you help me? And then that's where I find what level of the branding on demand program fits best for them. And one of the biggest rewards that I get out of this program is actually growing with the client. And that's something that I missed for years. Like, I've always been that one and done designer, which may lead to your next question. So I'll wait, but go ahead. I'll leave it.
Yeah. So the next question is actually something that popped up today, which I thought was hilarious. But I saw a Facebook memory that you posted from 7 years ago. Now this is 2010, right? Where you used to offer 1,000 flyers designed and printed for $125. Henry. So, I mean, how does it go? How does it feel to go from that to what you're doing now? And I know you've kind of touched on a little bit of it, but that's serious transformation. Like,
you know what it is, Ricardo? I'll be honest with you. I've been in business 10 years this September. Okay. And what has transformed between then and now is confidence. Confidence. And when I instill the confidence into my clients with better branding, higher level, much more quality produced collateral, it raises their confidence in themselves and in their brand. And that's important for every entrepreneur to understand. If you don't have the confidence in yourself and in your brand, how the hell do you expect someone that's in your audience to be confident in themselves to buy from you?
That's true. It's true. And
and to be selling, to be doing that, $125 for 1,000 flyers with design. I mean, I preach this, but like, you're just starting out. Back then I was just starting out and I was trying to build my chops. I was trying to build my skill. I was trying to build my business. Like, I was giving stuff away. I mean, honestly, I was trying to put a little dollar, price tag on it to pay the bills, but like, the competition was fierce. Again, my confidence level and experience level was not there.
Yeah.
And I said, there's got to be a way to do this. And guess what it was? It was time. So, for those of you starting out, you don't have to be in business 10 years to gain that confidence. All you need to do is surround yourself with the right people, find the right help, and that will cut light years off of the curve, right?
Yeah. So, what type of so I know you were working with a lot of like nightclubs and stuff before. Like, what type of clients are you working with now, and kind of how do they compare between, obviously aside from just being one and done projects, but how do they compare now to the clients that you're working with?
Well, they're much more, my projects now and my clients now, they're much more fulfilling for the simple fact that, like, nothing against the nightlife industry. I still have a handful, very small amount, but a handful of clients that I still work with that I provide that graphic work to. But again, it's not fulfilling to me in the sense where, again, it's just like a churn and burn type of work. Whereas the clients that I'm working with today, it's more of I'm working with them on their growth. So I basically, I immerse myself into their business and find out what makes them tick, right? And I find all those superpowers that their brand actually has in them that the entrepreneur that's running the brand is blind of, because they're so in their business, right? They don't see it. And then here comes Henry that says, you are amazing on video. I told you that 1,000 times, Ricardo. You were like, oh, I don't really do video. You've done one video inside of the Passionpreneur Movement, Passionpreneur Inner Circle group, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's a freaking natural, right? And then I saw you start to do some more videos, and they were crisp, they were clean, they were straight to the point. I go, this guy, he's sitting on a video gold mine here, and he just doesn't know it. So, you know, when I come into people's businesses and, you know, they show me around, my head starts to spin. And as a creative thinker and having the marketing background that I have, I really start to pick out those superpowers in that brand. And for example, Jesse Miller is a client of mine. He owns a company called Integrity Enterprises. And watching this guy come to me simply with a logo, and saying, listen, I need your help to build this brand. And now, you know, he's been in the Branding on Demand program now 4 months, and watching this business evolve is just, I can't tell you the amount of love that brings me, and that how much that fuels my passion of helping people level up their brands. I mean, it's a long-winded answer, but that's it at its core.
Nah, but it makes so much sense, and I've seen it from an outside of Jesse as well, you know, on Instagram, on Facebook, and stuff like that. So I mean, like, I see it from just an observer. So, you know, I can definitely appreciate, you know, the changes and him leveling up kind of what he's doing. So
let's give another example. I mean, Dom Fawcett. I mean, awesome guy, owns a brand called Think React Lead, right? Yeah. And he came to me about a year ago. He found me on Instagram, reached out to me, and he said, bro, I need a website. And so we start talking about, you know, this, and he had this other business called Leaders for Leaders. And he was talking to me about the business, and I really felt strongly about it because it was personal development, and I'm a big personal development fan. It's helped me tremendously in my life. And he said to me, I need a website. And after we got talking for about an hour, I said, bro, you don't need a website. You need a brand. Like, you need a business. Like, Leaders for Leaders is a name right now. Nobody knows it. And it's a logo. It's nothing. So a website, what is a website going to do for you? Like, you need a message. And year later, this guy watching him evolve, you know him.
I know.
Watching this guy crush, like, I can't even get the words out of my mouth to tell you how that makes me feel. And watching him evolve is just amazing.
It's different, man. I mean, it's like when you think about just a designer and what a designer does. I mean, you're so much more than just a designer, right? You know, and I mean, I've known you, and like, I've met you, we've met in person at Funnel Hacking Live. And so, I mean, I feel like I know you as a person, and it's like, it's not just design for you, and you actually care about, you know, your clients, and like, you're the type of person that if someone comes to you and says they want, you know, a particular project or design or whatever, and if it's not in their best interest, you won't do it.
Right.
Like, simple.
I mean, I've seen it 100 times. I mean, I had a guy last year, he wanted me to develop a marketing funnel for Donald Trump toilet paper. Bro, we're not a good fit. Sorry. And that's what I was talking about the other day when I put a Facebook post out there about stop trying to sell $47 napkins and get a job. Like, Donald Trump toilet paper, bro. Like, stop. And that's why, like, stuff like that I can't connect with, because it's not trying to make this world a better place. It's trying to get rich quick. It's trying to make a quick buck off of what's popular right now. And that's not in my cards. Like, I want to work with people like Daryl Daniels. You'll see a post down below from him. You know, this guy has been in the fitness industry for 30 years. helping people not only make themselves feel better about themselves and look better, but get them right up here. And that is powerful. And to watch this guy pour his heart out on his Facebook Lives and watch how he interacts with his clients, those are the people that I want to work with. Because that passion,
that's awesome, man.
I feed off of that.
Off of it, yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like working with passionate people is like it doesn't feel like work, man. It really doesn't.
Yeah. Nah, I agree with you 100%, man. So, I mean, you kind of talked about this from in the beginning. Like, we completely revamped the branding on demand package, the program, like just the way that incorporating the strategy, aspect of it, matching up the design, kind of they get some of your time, they have a team of designers and stuff like that. But one of the things that I think was the best part of what we did was the brand audit, and having that as sort of like a introduction, into the program. And I know I've talked to you about this, but it's like, why do you think that, offering sort of like a brand audit is, or has worked so well, or is, like people are gravitating towards it so much?
Mm-hmm. Well, a couple things. One is it's an introduction to me, and it helps the client, and it helps me too. I want to make sure that I'm working with the right people, and those people are trying to make sure that I'm a right fit for them too. So I get it, right? I get it. So when I spend the 30 minutes with them on the brand audit, going through their website, kind of going through the points that I'm trying to make with them and helping them tweak and kind of adjust, we're getting a good feel for each other. And sometimes it's a great fit. I mean, 98% of these folks that do the brand audit wind up coming into the Branding on Demand program because they see the value in it. But one, it's dating first, and we talk about principles and building relationships first, rather than trying to hard sell everybody. I mean, so we get 3,000 ads smashing us in the face a day. Like, when is it enough, right? So I try to take the more calm approach and say, listen, let's go on a date first. Let's see if it works. If not, no harm, no foul. We'll go our separate ways. It's fine, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to hard sell them. But what's really great about the brand audit is it allows entrepreneurs to get that professional insight and that professional look and that guidance, that advice, right, before they dive in heavy into a program. And any entrepreneur that's passionate about growing their business, taking it to the next level, building a legacy versus just building a business, right, short term, they think long term versus short term. They love the brand audit because they're like, oh, wow, I didn't even think about that. Or they say, I've been doing this for years, not realizing that there's a whole nother world out there when it comes to Instagram influencer marketing, or understanding font and typography and imagery and how important that stuff is to their brand. It's overlooked because they're not designers. They don't have that background. So it's a great first step into an amazing program that in time will not only build the confidence again in yourself, but it'll build the confidence in their brand and really build the confidence in their audience to buy from them versus the competition. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Yeah. Cool, man. That sounds good. That's all the questions I had. Did you have anything else or anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think you nailed it. I mean, like going back to the misconception of branding and not understanding the importance of it. It's, branding and it's identity and messaging. And those are the two frontline things that come before your audience actually buys from you. So it's like, how can you ignore that? You get 3 seconds to make a first impression with your brand's message and your brand's identity. And if
Yeah.
you don't invest in it, no one will trust you. That's the bottom line. And so I'm here to help my clients build the trust between them and their audience so that they can charge more for their product and actually create a profitable business. And 90% where they get stuck is here. So if I can help them fix that, I'm no Tony Robbins by any means, but if I can help them kind of get over some of those hurdles and be their guide, be their Yoda, if you will, when it comes to branding and design and creating a message to market match, then that's where I'm going to stay, and that's where I'm gonna put my foot forward and say, this is how I can help you the best. So that's it. So anyway, if anybody's interested in the brand audit, you can simply go to uniquefunneldesigns.com/brand audit. And what I'll do is I'll put a little link underneath the comments underneath this video, anybody interested in it. And, we'll take it from there. But I just wanted to make this live today, live, because I thought, Ricardo, these questions are brilliant. And I think the entrepreneurs out there maybe have the same questions, and they need to hear the answers to these questions, from somebody that's just all about telling the truth. Like, I got nothing to hide. I got nothing to lose. And it's just, you got to hear this, because every day that goes by and you're making the same mistakes and you don't know you're making those mistakes is hindering your growth. So
I agree. I appreciate your time, man. And if there's anybody on the fence, anybody that's thinking about it, grab the audit. I've told Henry that he needs to increase the price because it's a ridiculous deal. And I mean, like he said, it's kind of like you get a second set of eyes on your business, on your brand. And this is where your customers are coming in to see you and to do business with you. So, jump on it, because I'm going to convince him to increase the price soon. I don't know if you listen, but
I appreciate that, man. I'll slip you back that hundo that you just slipped me.
But I appreciate your time, man, and this was cool. We'll have to do it again, another time, maybe another topic or something, and just kind of, unhinged. I mean, you're straight up, like, you don't sugarcoat things. One of the things I like about you, and I'll ask you the questions, and we can go back and forth. And we'll see maybe we'll post it in our different groups and just see what other questions people have.
Yeah.
We'll jump back on this.
That's what's up. Appreciate you, man. Really do.
All right, H. I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, man. Let me just hit this.